Hello there, my wonderful students. Hello, students. It's nice having you once again on my online lesson. On that note, I say welcome to my online class. Sometimes we have money available. How do we use this money? That will bring us to this lesson's topic, which is personal finance. Personal finance is the financial management which an individual or a family unit performs to budget, save, and spend monetary resources over time, taking into account various financial risks and future life events. Then, sources of finance for individuals. Individuals have various ways of sourcing finance. It begins with personal savings, borrowing from friends and relatives. All right. Personal savings is what I love most. Here, the money absolutely belongs to you. Then you could borrow from family or friends, inheritance of money, okay, or loans from commercial banks. Let's look at the word consumption. Consumption is the process of using up products as a means of satisfying human wants. Consumption is not only concerned with the usage of tangible goods such as food, clothes, but also the satisfaction derived from services rendered to a consumer. It could be listening to music, it could be some other services rendered to a consumer. Now, choice. What is choice? Choice is concerned with making selection from different alternatives. Choice making, sometimes could be a problem because it actually involves decision making on what to take and what to forego. For example, a student having only 1,000 might be faced with making a choice between buying a shirt, which costs 1,000, or a shoe, which also costs the same amount. That will lead us to scale of preference. This involves arranging our wants in order of importance. This is done by listing our wants in an order from what is preferably first. In preparing the scale of preference, the most pressing wants are listed first before the least pressing wants, out of which our choice is made depending on our resources or finance. That will lead us to the next word, which is modesty. In business, modesty involves doing things moderately and within acceptable norms. It is about exhibiting fairly small and not too extreme behavior towards issues. Acting moderately requires that an individual should not boast of the income, achievements, and abilities, or be extravagant. He should be decent and show respect for convention. There are attributes of modesty. We'll be taking these attributes one after the other. All right? Now, there are so many attributes that makes up this modesty? The first attribute is simplicity. A modest person is simple and easy to understand. He is plain, straightforward, and not complicated or causing difficulty in the way he does his things. A simple person is honest, approachable, and not seen as an extraordinary person. This kind of person with all of this quality is referred to as a simple person. So that is what simplicity is. Now, the second attribute is living within one's means. Living within one's means. One very important attribute of modesty is living within one's means. A modest person need not borrow money from friends or the bank in order to prove to others that he's a big man or a big boy. For example, if a worker earns 10,000 in a month, he should work out his expenditure wisely to live within that particular 10,000 naira monthly income. Another attribute is the word contentment. This has to do with getting satisfaction and happiness with what you have and do. A worker who has found contentment in his work will be happy, fine, and enjoy the activities of the organization. Lack of contentment in the workplace brings dissatisfaction. A person contented will not have bad feelings when others are making progress. Good. So there are effects of living modestly. Some of these effects are: 1. Self-control. Low tendency of corrupt practices. Prudence. Self-control is the ability of a worker to control his behavior when it matters most. It does not show strong emotions such as anger, sadness, and the rest. Then low tendency of corrupt practices. A modest worker is not tempted to take what does not belong to him. Then prudence. This worker does not spend his money unnecessarily. So let's compare modesty and extravagance. 1. A modest person is simple and reasonable, while an extravagant person does not care, is unreasonable. Secondly, a modest person spends money wisely, while an extravagant person spends money without reservation. Thirdly, a modest person spends his money on what he desires, while an extravagant person spends his money to show up. That is the difference. The next interesting one is budget. This is a plan to show how much a person or organization earns and how to spend the money. Or budget is a statement which shows the expected income and expenditure of an individual within a given period of time. It could be 1 year or monthly. In other words, 1 month. So that is what budget is all about. Let's look at steps for preparing an individual budget. The first step is decide on the budget period. Secondly, state objectives of the budget. Thirdly, obtain information. Fourthly, list all expected income. Fifth, list all expected expenditure. Sixth, compare income and expenditure total. Last but not the least, determine whether budget is balanced. surplus, or deficit. Okay, importance of budget. 1. Budget provides a means of controlling income and expenditure. Secondly, they act as a review for an individual, allowing time for corrective action. Thirdly, it enables an individual to delegate responsibility without losing control. Fourthly, budgets help ensure that capital is usefully employed. All right, that will bring us to the end of the lesson. So I'll see you next class. Please stay safe.